Rambo First Blood is one of my favorite movies of all time. It has such a simple plot, yet delivers 90 minutes of thrilling action, deep character interactions, and powerful messages. First Blood has one of the coolest movie premises ever, an ex Special Forces soldier being hunted down by law enforcement and using guerrilla warfare and survival tactics he learned in Vietnam to evade capture. I find it super awesome how it takes place in a forest surrounding a small town in the United States, because somehow that's cooler to me than if the movie was set during Rambo's time serving in Vietnam. I suppose it has something to do with the fact that most of us will never experience military combat overseas, yet we have forests near where we live, so if we wanted to, we could go and camp out there and put ourselves into an outdoor survival scenario. So, with that being said, let's dive into each of my favorite parts of Rambo First Blood. I like how they included the scenes where we see Rambo's flashbacks to his time in a POW camp in Vietnam, as well as showing us the physical torture scars on Rambo's chest and back, as this speaks to the fact that soldiers can leave behind the place where they were fighting, but the physical and mental scars still remain with them back at home. The fact that Rambo was treated so poorly by the sheriffs that it caused him to have literal flashbacks to his treatment in a prisoner of war camp is shocking, as it really demonstrates just how badly Vietnam veterans were treated upon returning home to America. It's really cool in this part of the movie to see Rambo salvaging for supplies when running from the sheriffs. It reminds us how Green Berets are conditioned for survival, finding use in items most of us would overlook, such as the string and tarpaulin Rambo uses as an improvised jacket. It's also super awesome to see him using the compass in the bottom of his knife. If you guys didn't know, you can screw off the bottom of the knife handle and a compass is built into it. I thought that was an awesome touch and such a cool feature on a survival knife. We also see that the hollow handle has a needle and thread for stitching up wounds, which is cool as well. And while we're on the topic, let's talk about Rambo's knife. The First Blood knife is literally the coolest combat knife I have ever seen. The blade design with the serrated edges on the back, the matte finish, everything about it is so imposing. I love it so much. This part of the movie is my favorite, the guerrilla warfare. This is what makes the Rambo movies so iconic and one of a kind. These scenes where Rambo is literally a one-man army taking on a larger force are what make the franchise what it is. It is awesome how Rambo crafts all these booby traps and camouflages himself out of sight of the sheriffs, taking them down one by one. The way the suspense builds as the sheriff's ranks are being thinned, whilst Rambo patiently stalks them, is exhilarating. What makes it even cooler is how we, as the viewers, don't know where Rambo is hiding either. All of that mixed with the thunder and lightning in the dark forest make this scene feel like both an action movie and a horror movie simultaneously. You can see as Rambo takes down the final sheriff, the mud he has rubbed across his arms and face to blend in with the dirt on the ground, and the leaves he has attached to his back to blend in with the forest's foliage, reminding us of Rambo's extensive Green Beret training. We see more cool survival tactics in this scene as Rambo creates a torch out of cloth and wraps it around his knife. The way he stabs the knife into the wall is so badass. It's yet another little touch that makes Rambo look that much cooler. I also think the next scene is shot so gorgeously as Rambo wanders through the mineshaft with water dripping above him. It gives me strong Tomb Raider vibes, which I love. Now we are on to the final showdown, and oh my goodness is this next level. This is when the action ventures into Michael Bay territory with the explosions. Rambo literally blows up an entire gas station as a diversion tactic. He literally does not care at this point. The scene where Rambo shoots out the streetlights is my favorite part of this showdown because it keeps going back to the Special Forces tactics. Manipulating your environment to bring the cover of darkness over yourself is just so badass. Then we see another great diversion tactic as Rambo ignites the ammunition in a gun store to make it seem like he's shooting over in that direction. I'll say it again, I love that they included all these well thought out action sequences instead of just having Rambo fire aimlessly with everything around him exploding for no reason. All his actions were carefully planned and executed in the spirit of a true Green Beret. There is a real contrast between the start of the movie, with Rambo being detained within the police station, to see him in this scene shooting it up like a complete boss with his M60 machine gun, feeding the ammo belts expertly. Then we finally get to see the sheriff who started this all by unfairly arresting Rambo get his comeuppance, as in yet another awesome move. Rambo baits him by running past the sheriff, making him fire rounds, revealing his position, and allowing Rambo to machine gun through the ceiling into the sheriff's legs. The movie wraps up perfectly with Rambo walking out the police station with his head held high, with that iconic score playing in the background. So those were all my favorite parts of Rambo First Blood. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys all in the next one.